They ignored the warnings at the perimeter. The jungle didn't feel alive yet. It felt like a trap waiting to snap shut. Step by step, the sunlight vanished. The canopy above wove together like skeletal fingers, blocking out the sky. Maya noticed it first. No birds, no crickets, just a suffocating, heavy silence that pressed against the eardrums. When Sarah stumbled against an ancient trunk, the wood bled, a dark, viscous red that stained her skin. Behind them, the jungle was breathing, reclaiming its space, closing the door on any hope of a retreat. Then came the sound, a voice from deep within the thicket, crying out for help. It sounded exactly like Marcus. Terror shattered their discipline. Leo ran toward the voice, convinced a trick was being played on them. The leaves brushed against his skin like cold skin. The faster he ran, the further away the light became. He tripped over something hard. Not a root. A camera, half buried in the mud, dropped years ago. He powered it on. The final recording showed the same trees, the same fog, and something watching from the dark. A rustling rose from all sides. The trees were moving, encircling him in a tightening ring of wood. From the shadows, a shape emerged. It didn't speak with its own voice. It used the voices of Leo's friends. Miles away, the remaining group searched for him, unaware that the jungle had already claimed its first prize. A sudden snap broke the air. In a heartbeat, the dark took him, his screams cut short by the mud. As night finally fell, the jungle gained a new voice. A voice that sounded exactly like Leo. The torchlight flickered against the suffocating fog. With every step deeper, the air grew thick with the smell of old copper. Sarah pointed her trembling light upward. Hanging from the massive branches were empty clothes, swaying like hollow cocoons. Marcus checked the compass. The needle spun erratically, driven mad by the pulsing magnetic force deep beneath the soil. Suddenly, Leo's voice echoed from behind a wall of thorns. But it was too rhythmic, like a broken record playing on repeat. David stepped closer to the brambles, ignoring Marcus's warnings. He desperately wanted to believe his friend was still alive. Black, thorned vines burst from the mud, wrapping around David's legs with the speed of a striking viper. The thorns cut deep, injecting a glowing, neon-green fluid that turned his veins black in a matter of seconds. He didn't scream in pain. Instead, a terrifying, glassy smile spread across his face as the jungle took his mind. Marcus dragged Maya back into a small clearing as David was pulled upward, vanishing into the black canopy above. The ground beneath their boots began to pulse, rising and falling like the chest of a sleeping giant. They stumbled upon an ancient stone altar, buried under centuries of writhing, breathing roots that bled crimson sap. Maya's headphones picked up a new frequency. It wasn't static, it was a chorus of hundreds of voices whispering together. The whispers called out their deepest secrets, using the voices of their dead relatives from years ago. Sarah dropped her flashlight, clutching her ears as the psychological weight of the jungle crushed her sanity completely. When she opened her eyes, the trees had stepped closer again, locking them in a cage of living wood. The final night had arrived. The sky above was completely blotted out by a swirling vortex of purple cosmic fog. Marcus looked at Sarah. Her eyes were glowing with the same eerie, neon-green light that had consumed the others. She didn't speak words anymore. Her jaw unhinged, releasing a deep, organic frequency that vibrated through the earth. Roots erupted from her fingertips, digging deep into the mud as she began her terrifying transformation into the forest. Marcus and Maya ran blindly, their boots sinking deep into the wet, bleeding soil of the living jungle floor. The trees before them parted, revealing the heart of the forest, a colossal, glowing tree pulsing with cosmic energy. Hanging from its glowing branches were the bodies of lost hikers, all perfectly preserved and fused into the wood. Maya dropped her headphones as they began to melt, fusing with her skin in a twisted blend of metal and flesh. A massive vine wrapped around her waist, lifting her gently into the air toward a glowing, open bark hollow. Marcus raised his machete for a final strike, but the blade was instantly caught by a wall of living briars. The voice of his dead mother called his name from the center of the trunk, paralyzing his will to fight.
Oh my God, did you see
He let go of
Keep
the
running,
weapon.
don't look back.
The illusion was terrifying, but the desire to stop running was completely overwhelming. Vines wrapped around his arms and chest, pulling him flat against the warm, beating heart of the ancient tree. The cosmic light flared one last time, sealing their bodies completely into the bark as new permanent fixtures. The next morning, the jungle was perfectly silent again, waiting for the next group of travelers to cross the line.